Right, welcome to the Ordinary Council meeting of Muswellbrook Shire Council being held at the TEC Meeting Room, Level 1, Tertiary Education Centre, Hill Street, Muswellbrook, on Tuesday, 25 August 2026. So declare the meeting open at 5 p.m. Please note the meeting is being live streamed and will be made available on Council's website. Tonight we have two applications for attendance via audio visual link, one from Councillor McNeil and one from Councillor Hartley. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Mahajan, Councillor Dunn, running in favour. None against. Thank you. The acknowledgement of country, our together statement will be read by Councillor Barry.
Muswellbrook Shire Council is proud to acknowledge the traditional owners of the land on which we work and live. We pay our respects to First Nations leaders and elders, past, present and emerging, who are the keepers of history, traditions, knowledge and culture. We commit to working in collaboration with traditional owners in a spirit of reconciliation and partnership. As we meet today, let us reflect on the knowledge and stories that have been shared on this land for thousands of generations and commit to walking together in a spirit of respect and understanding.
Thank you. The civic prayer will be read by Councillor Morris.
Almighty God, from whom comes every good and perfect gift, we give you thanks for the blessings you bestow upon us in this Shire. Grant to those who hold office in this council the spirit of justice and truth, of wisdom and charity, that mindful of our responsibility and the needs of those we serve, we may promote the true welfare of your people, exercise wisely and faithfully the authority committed to us, and advance the common good. Through Jesus Christ our Lord. Amen.
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 Thank you. Please be seated. We have no apologies tonight. We will move on to the confirmation of minutes. So item 5, so the ordinary council meeting held on 28th July. The recommendation in front of you is that the minutes of the ordinary council meeting held on 28th July 2026, a copy of which has been distributed to all members, be taken and read as and confirmed as a true record. Or have I someone want to move that way? Councillor Marshall and Councillor Barry. All those in favour? Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you. Disclosure, is there any pecuniary or non-pecuniary interest? Starting on my left, Councillor Douglas.
Thank you, Mr Mayor. I have 9.3.3 Mac Energy S138 permit Castle Rock Road commence process. I have an insignificant non-pecuniary. My son's company works out there. And then enclosed council 16.1 2025 2026 -0693 Denman Sandy Hollow Pipeline and Water Treatment Plan. Significant non-pecuniary. The LAF where I am CEO has a claim. And then 6.3 Bulky Waste Services Modernisation Service Division. I have a pecuniary interest because my son's company has put in a tender.
Thank you. Councillor Morris.
No.
Councillor Bailey.
Yes, Mr Mayor, I have an insignificant pecuniary interest in 9.3.3 Mac Energy S138 permit Castle Rock Road decommissioning, and the same again in 9.3.4 permanent legal closure of Castle Rock Road commence process, as I work for a contractor on the mine site that's contracted to Mac Energy.
Councillor Bailey. Councillor Mahajan.
Yes, Mr. Mayor, I have one pecuniary interest, 9.12, monthly report to Council Planning and Environmental Regulatory Service, P number 89, one of the property listed on this report. My wife and mom are on it.
Thank you, Councillor. Councillor McNeil.
None, thanks, Mr. Mayor.
Councillor Hartley.
Yes, I've got two. 9.3.3 Mac Energy S138 permit Castle Rock Road decommissioning, and 9.3.4 the permanent legal closure of Castle Rock Road commence process. Pecuniary interest in both as I work on the Mount Pleasant Mac Energy site.
Thank you, Councillor Hartley. Councillor Marshall.
Yeah.
Councillor Barry.
No.
Councillor Dunn.
No.
Councillor Bowles.
Yes. 9.1.2, the report with regards to approvals and DA nominations. There is one particular application which is only to be noted tonight. It's not being discussed. But I have a minor insignificant pecuniary interest as I'll just leave it at that.
Thank you.
As long as the item's not discussed, I'm not planning to leave the room.
Yeah, thanks, Councillor Scholes. Councillor Ward.
Denman, Alvin.
Yep.
Eric, talking, me, Keith, fine.
You said you had some discussion, I understand, Councillor Ward, with the
Yeah.
proponent. Thank you. I have none to declare either. That disclose interest. Mayoral minute. First, get everyone to be aware of the mayoral minute tonight. We feel it's fitting I stand to do it. A protocol generally has me sitting, which I don't mind most of the meetings, but probably more fitting I stand. Welcome to the Huggins family tonight, certainly so soon after what they've had to deal with recently. So the mayoral minute tonight, item 7.1, is the proposed renaming of the Muswellbrook Indoor Sports Centre in honour of Jimmy Huggins. So the mayoral minute reads, it is with great sadness that Council recently farewelled Jimmy Huggins, a man rightly described by our community as a Muswellbrook local legend, a stalwart of our shire, and someone who had made an extraordinary contribution to sport and community life across the region. Jimmy was an accomplished athlete in his own right, proudly representing Australia on the international stage. However, it was what he chose to give back that defined his legacy. Jimmy dedicated his time, knowledge and energy to coaching athletics, basketball, encouraging young people to have a go and helping generations of local athletes improve their sport and believe in themselves. For 4 decades, Jimmy and his wife Veronica, who is here with us tonight, and their family have managed the Muswellbrook Indoor Sports Centre on behalf of Council and our community. During that time, Jimmy helped make the centre much more than a place to play sport. It was a genuine community hub, hosting countless sporting and recreation activities, as well as the Australia Day celebrations, elections at all levels of government, and supporting emergency response activities in times of need. Jimmy and his family regularly went above and beyond to ensure the facility accommodated the needs of the community. Jimmy was affectionately known to many as the Cooper of the stadium, reflecting the close connection Jimmy had with Indoor Sports Centre and the generations of people who passed through its doors. He was a familiar and constant presence whose generosity, humour and mentorship touched countless local families, in many cases across multiple generations. In recognition of Jimmy Huggins' outstanding and sustained service to sport and community in Muswellbrook, and in tribute to the enduring contribution of the entire Huggins family to the Indoor Sports Centre, I propose that the Muswellbrook Indoor Sports Centre be renamed the Jimmy Huggins Indoor Sports Centre. This is a fitting and lasting way for Council to honour a man whose influence will continue to be felt by the community he helped build for generations. The recommendation I ask Council to support reads like this. Muswellbrook Shire Council endorses this mayoral minute and authorises the General Manager to undertake the necessary process to formally name the Muswellbrook Indoor Sports Centre the Jimmy Huggins Indoor Sports Centre, in recognition of Jimmy Huggins' extraordinary contribution to sport and the Muswellbrook community. Have I moved up? Number of places and a seconder. I'll put that. All those in favour. I declare that carried unanimously. And I'll wait till you stop till I don't stop. It is only obviously a small gesture from council, but certainly that's something that I think we're pretty confident we would be well supported and well deserved. Thank you very much. Thank you. You can stay and listen to the rest of the meeting if you want, but it won't. But it won't be as exciting as that.
We're all saying we've got other things.
Congratulations. Thank you. Thanks very much. Fitting tribute, I thought. A lot of us.
I don't know when we're going to get my cowboy books.
A lot of us don't offer 40 years service to anything, let alone a community like Jimmy and the entire Huggins family have. So certainly well deserved. We'll move on. Any business, so there is no business arising in item 8. So we'll move straight into our business. So the first is item 9. It is planning and environment. So item 9.1.1, DA 2025-121. It's a multi-dwelling housing, so 5 by 3 bedroom dwellings, Pendula Way, Denman. Pardon. The recommendation in the business paper is that. Oh, sorry.
Yeah, okay. Okay.
It was not in one.
Right.
Let's do it.
Sound cut out, didn't it?
Awesome.
They're probably easier for you.
The board's declared an interest in let the rooms. We will 911. I'll go out again. It's DA 2025-121 multi-dwelling housing, 5 3-bedroom dwellings in Pendula Way in Denman. Recommendation before council is that development application 2025-121 for multi-dwelling housing, 5 times 3-bedroom dwellings at 9 to 13 Pendula Way, Denman, Block 12, DP 115022, be approved, subject to the conditions in attachment B of this report. Have I someone want to move that way? Councillor Marshall, a seconder. Councillor Scholes, Councillor Marshall, any discussion?
Just like to say that I actually went out and had a look at the sites today in my truck. I had no trouble driving up and finding the cars in the street, so there is plenty of room on the street. I feel.
Thanks, Councillor Marshall. Councillor Scholes.
Yeah, where it is at the end of the cul-de-sac.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Barry.
So while the report demonstrates that the proposal meets the numerical parking requirements of DCP, what assessment has been undertaken on the actual parking capacity and existing parking conditions in Pendula Way, particularly given the 13 submissions raising concerns around existing congestion and on-street parking, and what will occur if residential car parking exceeds the spaces required on site?
Councillor Barry, I'll ask the Director of Planning, who's doubling as the General Manager at the moment, to answer that.
Thank you, Mr Mayor and councillors. The standards in the Development Control Plan for car parking have been developed over a long period of time to identify the amount of parking that new development should provide to minimise impacts of parking on the street. We cannot stop residents from parking on the street, choosing to park on the street rather than in their own garages or on the driveway in front of their garages. It becomes self-managed, because if you can't find a parking spot on the street, you're going to park in your garage. In other locations, when there is parking problems within the street, it is possible to introduce parking restrictions and resident parking permits, but at this point in time, we don't think that that will be required.
Thank you. Any further questions? I have a mover and a seconder. I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Any against? We need to register that. Councillor DA, Councillor Barry voted against. I declare the motion carried. Understood. Councillor Scholes, you don't need to leave the room. It's a non-pecuniary. Insignificant, non-significant.
And the item is not actually being discussed as an item.
Yeah, same as Councillor Martin. Okay. Okay, we have everyone back. 9.1.2, the monthly report to council, planning, environment and regulatory services. So the recommendation in front of councillors is that the information contained in the report be noted. Have I someone want to move that way? Councillor Bailey, seconded Councillor Douglas. Any questions? That being the case, I'll put that motion. All those in favour? None against. Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you. Corporate services, 9.2. 9.2.1. That's a report on our investments held as at 31 July 2026. So the recommendation in the business paper is that council notes council's investments as at 31 July 2026. Have I a mover? Councillor Morris, and a seconded Councillor Scholes, surprisingly. Councillor Morris, any questions?
No, thank you.
Councillor Scholes.
I just note that the return on interest we're getting is slightly above the
Slightly above.
standard market, right? That's pretty good.
Very good. Any further questions from councillors? Okay, I'll put that. All those in favour? I have none against. Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you. We move on to infrastructure and property. So 9.3, 931, Capital Works Program 2026-27, water and wastewater. So recommendation in front of you is that council approves the attached priority list of water and wastewater capital works program for the 2026-27 financial year to the limit of the approved budget. Someone want to move that way? Councillor Scholes, Councillor Morris. Any questions, Councillor Scholes?
No question, just discussion. I'd just like to, of council officers, and include Councillor Morris, and I have a bit in this. Body of work that's within the budget, it's within the budget, so the budget is caused the limit. But don't assume that is anywhere near the limit of what possibly we need to do and what is just around the corner. If we had more money, we would be spending more money on that stuff. It's just basically prioritising and to stay within the budget. But there's a lot of old infrastructure out there that's going to need to be replaced in the next few years. And one major part of that infrastructure, which I'll just flag for the councils going forward, is reservoir storage at Muswellbrook.
Councillor Scholes, Councillor Morris.
Thank you. Yeah, further to Councillor Scholes' comment, that was quite the eye-opener, and I would encourage all councillors to try and have a look at what that facility and the work that water and wastewater do. I would describe that as one of the most important this council is responsible for. The job that's ahead of these guys is enormous. This group is enormous, and I would recommend any spare money we can find should go there.
Happy for you to identify some spare money.
Yes, I think I found some today.
Any further questions on that, on the item 931?
Yes, Mr. Mayor, just in relation to, thank you, just in relation to the last two comments, is there a view from council staff that by prolonging investment now may actually create a greater expense down the track?
Is that the question about creating a new assets or?
The question, I think, was, correct me, Councillor McNeil, you had difficulty here. The question was, if we don't do any work now, we prolong, will it cost us more in the long run?
Yeah, that's correct. Yeah, because the situation is worse, especially on fiber network, water and sewer network. The longer we prolong, the longer it's going, more we pay for renewal.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you, sir. Any further questions?
Yeah.
Yeah, Councillor Dan.
I just want to reply by saying I was just curious if there's some sort of analysis of, I guess, costs by prolonging infrastructure of that like. Is there work done in relation to that sort of gives us numbers and an indication that maybe we should be reviewing the budget?
Thank you, Mr. Mayor, councillors. The integrated water cycle management strategy is currently going through the process of review. We would like to have it done before the end of the year. So, Survey Need Water and Wastewater is working on that. Council, in some respects, is the community is well off in terms of our management of wastewater and Hustle particularly. But our water treatment plant certainly has some challenges. So there's work we need to do to extend the life of the water treatment plant. Council Scott's mentioned storage. We need to do that. And then, as Sergey mentioned, the network in parts, which we've been doing a lot of good work on, and in placing mains and putting valves in. But there's more work to be done, and we're putting that all together in review of the IWC and bring that to council before the end of the year.
Can I make comment there? I might be able to.
Thank you.
Yeah, Gus, with regards to the works that we're doing, we'll have to do with the water treatment plant in Musselbrook. Yeah, we're having to spend money there to make that last wobble because it's got issues and it's getting towards the end of its life. And that money, potentially, some of that money is not recoverable if we do something else down the line. But we're actually in a position where we are not in a position now to build a new water treatment plant. So we virtually have to extend the life of what we've got. That is potentially, as you say, we're spending money that we're not going to be able to pull back. But that's where we are, timeline against finances. So we've really got no choice.
Thank you.
Thank you.
If and we have that, so that report, Councillor, will be end of the year. We say before the end of the year, we'll have that report in front of councillors, and of course, we still have some discussions as late as this morning. We have some discussions in regards to some alternative uses, aligning with Upper Hunter Shire Council as well. So those conversations are continuing as well. No further questions. I'll put that. All those in favour? Believe that unanimous and carried. Thank you. 932 Olympic Park Grandstand and Amenities, Olympic Park Tennis Club lighting and fencing works. The recommendation reads that Council 1 approves the funding of 2 new sports lighting units on the eastern side of Olympic Park Tennis Club courts as part of the Olympic Park Grandstand and Amenities project. 2, approves the replacement of approximately half of the perimeter fencing surrounding the tennis courts impacted by the project. And 3, and finally, notes that these works are being undertaken to facilitate construction of the Olympic Park Grandstand and Amenities project and recognise the disruption that will result for the Olympic Park Tennis Club. Have I a mover for that? Councillor Marshall, Councillor Hartley. Any Councillor Marshall? Councillor Hartley. Any questions? Councillor Barry.
Can I get clarification on the original contingency available from the Olympic Park Grandstand? How much will remain if the 75,000 is approved, and whether there are any other known risks or variations that may draw on the remaining contingency?
Yeah, so the contingency is about 936,000. Top of my head, can't quote me, but
How much was that, sorry?
900,000.
Okay, thank you.
There is 2 variations we are aware of that will come up on Olympic Park. The extension of the awning across the front to further to the end of the grandstand, and an area up on the roof that we'll need to change the design a little bit throughout, which we're aware of. But that's it at the moment.
Thank you. Any further questions?
Not a question, Mr. Mayor.
But it's basically the variations we've got, we're coming up currently, they're scope changes. They're not necessarily problems we've identified with what we originally scoped as a job.
That's correct. So that'll be variations from us.
Yes, thank you. Councillor Neil.
Yeah, and I'd just like to make a statement that I was at the user group meeting when there was discussions around this, and I'd just like to congratulate councillors, staff and the user groups for resolving the matter in the way that they have.
Just make one final comment. been a fairly excited project manager who showed me a photo this afternoon of a lot of that grandstand building now on the ground and gone. So it's well and truly underway, the demolition at the moment. Any further questions? If there's no further questions, I should say I'll put that. All those in favour? None against, declare that unanimous and carried. 933 is the Mac Energy Castle Rock Road permit. Councillor Hartley's gone. Councillor Bailey is going. Pardon. 933. So it's the Mac Energy Section 138 permit Castle Rock Road decommissioning. The recommendation in the business paper is that Council authorises the General Manager to approve the Section 138 Roads Act 1993 application submitted by Mac Energy for the decommissioning of part of Castle Rock Road portion, Coal Creek Road and Belgrave Road, proposed to be closed for mining purposes once the following conditions have been satisfied. 1, the road closure of the proposed closed roads has been commenced by Council, seeking approval at the 25 August Council meeting. And 2, the decommissioning plans for Castle Rock Road attached to this report are considered satisfactory by Council staff. Have I a mover for that? Councillor Morris, Councillor Ward. Councillor Morris, you should be heard.
Thank you. I'd like to hear you say proposed closed roads 5 times quickly.
I said it slowly and once. Councillor Ward, no question. Any questions on that? Okay, I'll put that. All those in favour? None against. Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you. We can let Councillor. Oh no, they're out for the next one too. It's Castle Rock. 934. It's the permanent legal closure of Castle Rock Road. Commence the process. So recommendation in front of you is that Council authorise the commencement of the proposed closure of part of Castle Rock Road, Belgrave Road and Coal Creek Road, pending practical completion of the works, including 1, publishing a notice in the local newspaper and on Council's website seeking public submissions. 2, notifying all adjoining landowners and any owner or occupier of land whose land will suffer a material loss of access because of the council public road closure. 3, notify all public utility authorities which may have assets affected by the closure. And 4, providing a report to council on any submissions received. Have I a mover for that? Councillor Marshall has moved that. Councillor Scholes has seconded it. Councillor Marshall. Councillor Scholes. No. Any questions? I'll put that motion then. All those in favour? None against. Declare that unanimous and carried. And now we can get Councillors Hartley and Bailey back in the room. Councillor Hartley, we haven't got him back yet. Oh, we better send him a message. You send one? Here he is. Okay, 935. Muswellbrook Town Centre lot consolidation and car park concept. The recommendation in front of you reads that council endorses the 1, proposed plan of subdivision lot consolidation for the Muswellbrook Regional Entertainment Centre dated 13 August 2026, and 2, concept plan for the Muswellbrook Town Centre car park revision A. Have I a mover for that? Councillor Marshall has moved that. Councillor Morris has seconded it. Councillor Marshall.
I'd just like to, and I'm willing to move a motion or an amendment to try and have more than 1 caravan parking. As I believe that caravanners usually go around in groups, not one of them.
I don't know how that fits in the motion.
It is.
I was going to suggest, thank you, Councillor Marshall. That was one of my comments for this one. Simply to have provision to increase in the future required to have more caravan space. I agree, 1 caravan parking space was insufficient, as well as only 1 bus parking space. So I assumed the bus parking space was a drop-off only, not a storage of the bus for facilities, but then I couldn't see where the buses would then go and later park if there was a couple of buses coming to the entertainment centre. So that was an assumption that I made, that was just a drop-off point. And that the EV charges, which I think were about 6 in this plan, if I remember correctly when I read it. Again, as long as there's future provision to be able to extend on caravan parking and EV charging and potential bus parking.
Thanks, Councillor Morris. Rather than change the plan and then have to come back to us, can we move ahead as proposed with the motion, but note councillors' comments in regards to that?
Yes.
So we wish that included. So then it doesn't have to, we can make those changes without having to come back to council in Parliament for another month. Happy with that?
Yeah.
Okay, any questions? Councillor Ward.
Church parking.
That does the work. Uniting Church agree to the proposed car park.
Uniting Church, yeah, they do. So we've had to look at that. Thank you.
Councillors, we've had discussions with United Church. We have frequent discussions. We meet sort of monthly or every second month. And they are generally happy with the proposal, but we'll be going back and forth with them and we'll find the design.
Councillor Sculls.
Yeah. Just with regards to the noting, I think we've got to be careful what we're noting. I think we're noting that we're concerned that there's not enough bus parking and electric vehicle charging points. Let's not try and solve it. Like to provide extra bus parking, or the problem we've got is we've got a concern there's not enough bus parking and there's not enough EV charging. They're the issue, not the solution.
I think what I flagged was that council staff be aware of that, to consider that. But I'm not sure, you're right, I'm not sure that we can change that in the plan today because we don't actually know whether there's enough or not. But if there is enough room, we need council to be aware, we want those changes made. Yeah.
So at point 3, to note council's comments regarding bus and caravan car parking and EV charging point.
Are you happy to include that, Councillor Marshall? Councillor Morris? Give it a second. So the point 3. So the point 3 reads that that we note councillors' comments regarding caravan parking, EV points and EV charging points and bus parking. Thank you.
Just on, I just think that if you only have one and there's 3 or 4 caravans, they'll just drive straight through.
Yeah, I agree.
They're not going to block.
Yeah, no, I think it's a valid point. Absolutely.
I think it's a valid point. We don't tell them we should be shocked on a side.
Maybe we can find somewhere else.
Any further comments? So everyone understand that motion? So it was as read with the point 3 that added the EV charging points to extra caravan parks and bus parks. Everyone's happy and there's no questions. I'll put that motion. All those in favour? None against. Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you. 9.4, temporary worker accommodation update. So the recommendation in the business paper is that council notes the information contained in the report. Have I a mover for that? Councillor Morris, seconder. That Councillor Marshall. Councillor Morris?
I couldn't find a timeline in this report as to when that looks like it may happen. Or is that how there's a stream?
Thank you, Mr. Chair and councillors. At the moment, we have consultants working on different business models. We will be able to report that information to councillors before the end of the year. The expression of interest is to help get some market testing done, and again, that will help inform the report. Do we have a more distinct date than the end of the year?
The operations model is nearly finished, so we should have that back to the September council meeting. And then the expressions of interest is ready to go pending the discussion tonight. So that'll go out for a 2-week period just to try and see what we get back and what interest we get from the market. Council, because it's an expression of interest, may not proceed with any of these options. It's more just a market sounding at this point in time.
I think given the importance or the expediency, the importance of the expediency of this, it would be, I think we should get it done reasonably, as quickly as certainly possible, at least based on those expressions of interest.
Yeah, and we will bring both of those pieces of information to council on those specific sites for council then to determine how it wants to move.
Yep. I imagine it'll be dictated to us in some way by how quick people need temporary worker accommodation.
Yeah.
And if I was to have to answer your question on the spot, they need it now.
They do. That's why I'm saying.
Or very, very soon. So I think that will happen fairly quickly. Any further questions? Have a mover and a seconder. I'll put the motion. All those in favour? None against. Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you. Destination Management Plan 942. Recommendation in the business paper is that Council supports the review and update of the existing Upper Hunter Destination Management Plan to incorporate the Muswellbrook Shire Council local government area to create an Upper Hunter Region Destination Management Plan. Have I a mover for that? Councillor Douglas, a seconder. Councillor Bailey. Councillor Douglas.
I'm going to make a comment about how fantastic this is and well done to the council staff, because this is certainly moving in the direction about what we've sort of been talking about when we came up with branding, and the work that we're doing with the Upper Hunter Shire Council is fantastic.
Councillor Bailey, I think you second that. Councillor Bailey.
Thank you.
Any questions from councillors? Councillor Morris.
Thank you. I must say, when I read this report, I was disappointed with the lack of information on funding for it. I did send an inquiry to council with regards to that. And for the number that was presented of less than $100,000, I was surprised that that number wasn't brought towards or to council. That was disappointing. And then the open statement made in there, and you'll forgive me because it's going to take me a moment to find this one. No, that's okay. For the ongoing, they mentioned the ongoing revenue and procurement, that would only go to the general manager and council staff, not to council. But again, no idea of what that money was going to look like. And it had potential to cost, well, an absolute unknown amount of money at the end of the day. We had no clue what that was going to cost us, or cost the ratepayer at least. So when receiving a report like this, where possible and where known, if the financial implications could be included with that, would be very, very helpful. The other question I had with regards to that was, with the Upper Hunter Shire Council and the what are they called? The other tourists, local information people, help me out.
Upper Hunter Country Tourism.
Upper Hunter Country Tourism, thank you. Which I believe their report's not going to be due until the end of the year or thereabouts.
Sorry.
Their financial plans may not be due until the end of the year.
Yeah.
Yet we're going to incorporate with their plan, is how I read it at least. And my question was, are they contributing any financial or resources to this as well? And don't get me wrong, I'm all for it. I think I'm a bit like the more we can do to promote tourism here, the better. And I'm really, really happy that we're in the early stages of it rather than after the game's already been, the horse is bolted. So very happy about how early we're attacking this.
Through the Mayor, thank you, Councillor, for your questions, and it's noted in relation to the financial consideration section which you're referring to. I feel that those projects that are developed through the DNP are coming back for their approval. We've been working in consultation with Upper Hunter Shire Council and Upper Hunter Country Tourism on the development of this plan. Muswellbrook has never had its own destination management plan, and with the new brand, it's the opportunity to work collaboratively as a tourism destination region to try and attract and bring more visitors to the area. Upper Hunter Shire Council have committed resources and support using the existing plan or modifying that to be able to incorporate the whole of the region. Upper Hunter Country Tourism, we've got representatives from the board going to be involved in this process. And that's a resource commitment, not a funding commitment.
Sorry, you say a resource, not funding?
A resource commitment.
Yeah. And I found the line, forgive me, that I was looking before,
Yep.
Where it said the ongoing operational expenses and resource requirements, which I think needs to be reworded in the business paper.
Yep.
Will be subject to internal review and established in consultation with the general manager and council's finance team. So nowhere in there does it say comes back to us. We don't know what that number is.
Noted. Thank you.
Councillor Morris, any further questions? Have a mover and a seconder. That being the case, I'll put that. All those in favour? But none against. Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you, councillors. Move on to our committee meetings. So 10.1 Aboriginal Reference Group 1 July 26. The recommendation is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Aboriginal Reference Group held on 1 July 2026. Have I a mover for that? Move for those minutes. Councillor Marshall, Councillor Hartley. Any questions? That being the case, I'll put those. All those in favour? I've none against. Declare that carried. Thank you. 10.2 State Significant Development Committee. Again, for noting, council notes the minutes of the meeting of the State Significant Development Committee held on 11 August 2026 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Have I a move for that State Significant? Councillor Dunn, Councillor Ward. Anyone wish to be heard?
No.
Okay, I'll put that. All those in favour? I've none against. Thank you. Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you, councillors. Finance and Governance Committee, also 11 August. The recommendation again is for noting that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Finance and Governance Committee held on 11 August 2026 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Have I a mover for the Finance Committee? Councillors Morris and Scholes. I didn't need to lift my head. Any questions? No questions. I'll put that. All those in favour? None against. Again, unanimous and carried. Thank you. It was a big day on the 11th of August. Infrastructure and Property Committee, 11 August. Again, for noting that the Infrastructure and Property Council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Infrastructure and Property Committee held on 11 August 26 and adopts the recommendations that contain therein. Have I a mover for that infrastructure minutes? Councillor Morris and Councillor Ward. Anyone wishing to be heard? I'll put that. All those in favour? Again, none against. For that carried. Thank you. 10.5 Future Fund Committee, 11 August. Recommendation of the business paper is that council notes the minutes of the meeting of the Future Fund Committee on 11 August 2026 and adopts the recommendations contained therein. Does someone want to move that one for me? Councillor Scholes, Councillor Mahajan. Any questions? No questions. I'll put that. All those in favour? Thank you. Minutes adopted. 10.5. We'll now ask someone to move that we move into an adjournment into closed council. Sorry, I won't. We'll go through a bit more there. Notices of motion. There are no notices of motion. Sorry. Councillors' reports. We'll start on my left. Councillor Doug, Councillor Morris.
No.
Councillor reports. Councillor Bailey. Councillor Mahajan. Councillor McNeil. Councillor Hartley. Councillor Marshall. Did you say you did have one, Councillor Hartley, or you didn't?
No, none.
Thank you. Councillor Berry. Councillor Dunn. Councillor Scholes. Councillor Ward.
Ryan? Good.
The New England. I won't go through too much. I'll be really quickly. A few councillors have been a little bit easy on themselves. They have done a fair bit in the last month. We have gone through quite a lot in the last month. Thank you. We've gone through quite a lot in the last month. So we've had more recently, initially we had the Premier's Department, so they're the Deputy Secretaries of each of the departments, talk to us, come to Denman and talk to all the directors and myself. There was a bus full of them. I think there was 18 of them. They spoke to us. We've had a number of business events that council has spoken at. We, of course, seen good news story. There's always good news. We've seen the opening of Ray White. I attended that on behalf of council. Young local Musselrook lad, Dominic Pike, opening Ray White. So that's always great to see locals certainly opening those businesses. We've seen, of course, we spoke earlier about the opening of the Egerton Rail, or the Northern Link Road for the Castle Rock Road, I should say, for Mac Energy. I've had a number of other meetings that I won't go through. A couple of important ones, though, I will mention. We've had continue to have quite a number of meetings with quite a number of interested developers and a number of interested, not sort of developers, but people want to move businesses here. Just as a bit of a tease, we met this month with a motorsport group. Not whether I was allowed to say that or not, but we met with them just among a really diverse range of business opportunities that are looking to move to Muswellbrook, and they continue. I won't list all of it because to be honest, there's a number. And we finished up, of course, only last week with a visit to the Treasurer to particularly talk about data centres, but not just data centres. We have quite a number of proposals for them. We spoke to the Office of the Health Minister in regards to some health issues while we're there. And then last Friday, Tim Ayres and the Federal Investment Group, I think they call themselves. So effectively, there's about 7 or 8 departments, about 30 people all up, including a couple of Councillor Scholes who attended along with me. We met last week. They attended Muswellbrook for a visit to the Mount Arthur site, and then obviously to our Milk Centre, which was really, really good. Met a couple of our innovators here as well, which was fantastic. Just quickly, some thank yous to councillors for this month. We have been really busy, and I didn't go through half of what we've done, but thank you to most councillors. Councillor Dunn at the Art Gallery representing council, Councillor Douglas at the OX2 the other day, Councillor Barry at the Denman CBD committee, and a number of other councillors. Councillors Morris and Scholes, particularly in the last month, have done an incredible amount of work. Councillor Morris must have a very understanding boss. And Councillor Scholes hasn't got a boss, so he's right to do what he wants. But I do particularly thank them for the work they've done. It's been an incredible amount of work in the last month, and thank all councillors for their support. It is getting busier. It certainly isn't easing off, and we obviously need to continue doing what we're doing. Certainly having achieving some great results. There are no written questions. I'll just ask if anyone has a question for next meeting that they want. Any questions for next meeting?
Yeah, Mr. Mayor, just a question. I've had a number of written questions for the June meeting, and some of them were taken on notice. Is it normal practice for the council to update those questions at the following ordinary meeting, or is it just a work in progress?
I understand, Councillor McNeil, the questions were all answered at the last meeting in writing. I understand that the General Manager had responded to you in writing, and they were all in the last council. Responses were all in the last part of the last council meeting. I have some councillors nodding their heads here, agreeing with that. Was there something that wasn't answered in that last council meeting?
Well, yes. My interpretation of one response was that, and that was if we could get an outline of what is required for a member of the community to address council on a matter that's not associated with the business papers. And the response that I recall is that would be looked into and the information provided. The other one was about the Liddell turbine. If I could just get an update on if there'd been any work associated with determining a final resting place for the turbine.
I understand there has. I thought that had been reported as well. I understand it was going to end up at the works depot temporarily, is what I think the General Manager had said previously, which had been reported. And I understand the issue about talking before at a meeting was also addressed. I understand the General Manager, I mean, answered these. Wasn't moving from memory. I understand he responded about you had to have an item in the business paper, which is pretty clear. I understand that was answered as well. I'm not sure if you still had something outstanding or you didn't agree with those answers, but I understand they'd all been answered.
Well, there was two components to the question regarding the turbine. The other part was if we could do some work in deciding on a final place for the turbine, but that's okay. I'm not. I understand there's been a hell of a lot of work on of higher priority. I'm just curious to. I don't want to be badgering people for information when it's being considered. And the other question was whether council would consider the possibility of considering a space for the display of memorabilia associated with the historical industries within the LGA. And again,
I'll take it upon myself tomorrow to forward that email and forward that last business paper and the email to you again in case you didn't get it, but I understand they've all been answered.
Well, that'll be appreciated. Thank you very much.
Thank you. So any written questions? Further written questions? Now I'll ask councillors to move into. Councillor Marshall has his hand up before I got to close council. A seconder for closed council. Councillor Barry, all those in favour? None against. Declare that unanimous and carried. Thank you. open. Right, thank you. The closed council matters, 16.1, 2025-2026-0693, Denman to Sandy Hollow Pipeline and Water Treatment Plant. So the recommendation of the business paper is that Council 1 alters Resolution 370 dated 9 June 2026 in relation to contract 2025-2026-0693, Denman to Sandy Hollow Pipeline and Water Treatment Plant by replacing the approved lump sum of $25,757,814.32, exclusive of GST, with the revised contract price of $26,399,175.72, exclusive of GST, noting that the final contract price may be subject to further adjustment during the final contract negotiations, provided that the final contract price remains within the approved project budget, and 2, notes all other provisions of Resolution 370 dated 9 June 2026 remain unchanged. 16.2. Operational matters. The recommendation in the business paper adopted by Council is that Council 1 notes the confidential correspondence from Muswellbrook Shire Council's General Manager, Derek Finnegan, dated 23 August 2026, and accepts his resignation effective 18 September 2026. And 2, sincerely thank Mr. Derek Finnegan for his exceptional dedication over his 40-year career at Muswellbrook Shire Council and his commitment to the community of Muswellbrook in various roles, including as General Manager since March 2023. And 3, appoints Ms. Shaylee Richards as Acting General Manager until the commencement of a permanent General Manager. That was adopted by Council. 16.3, bulky waste service modernisation, service provision. The recommendation in the business paper is that Council 1 accepts the proposal from J.R. Richards and Sons to deliver a trial bulky waste service to 30 June 27. 2, seeks formal requests for quotes from service providers for the provision of supplementary bulk waste collection services. 3, proceeds to inform the community on the implementation of the service from October 2026. And 4, requests that a further report be presented to the February 27, 2027 Council meeting to provide an update on the uptake of the bookable bulky waste service and plans for continuation of the service post 30 June 2027. That is all the matters dealt with in closed council. That brings the meeting to a close at 6:37. Thank you, councillors and staff. Thank you.